Welcome to Exploring the Mystical Side of Life with your host, Linda Lang.
Hi, this is Linda Lang from ThoughtChange.com. Welcome to Exploring the Mystical Side of Life. Today, my guest is Carly Mentlik. Carly is the founder of the Inner Rainbow Project and a holistic therapist. Welcome, Carly.
Thank you.
I'm really excited about your Inner Rainbow Project because it works with children, especially. What inspired you to start working with kids?
Oh, I've always loved working with children. I think that they have a strong connection to their truth and their light. And I have always had a passion for helping keep it alive. The more I got into my own process, my own understanding, I can see that if we can share and help children keep their spirit alive and keep it strong, it's going to change the world. So this just continues to motivate me.
I don't know about you, but I think the kids coming in nowadays they're very different than I've seen throughout my lifetime. They're amazing. It feels like really that they have a purpose that's going to help propel the evolution of humanity
Hmm.
spiritually.
There's a deep connection. I noticed it with my daughter, like almost a tangible sense of their inner knowing, more of an ease I even see than when I began working with children like 20 years ago. So my daughter and the children coming in now kind of on a new energy. I mean, and I agree when people speak of a new earth, because there is that kind of spirit that's being brought in and going to help lift what's already here.
But it must be a bit of an uphill battle because there are so many adults that don't even know about chakras.
Chakras actually support the beauty of it and how much it offers for understanding how you can approach spirituality really in a grounded way too, with the Western evolution of the chakras. It helps parents, I think, because it can be so, when you have a child, you haven't completed your own spiritual journey. Some people almost haven't even started it. Chakras and just in general supporting parents with their own work and helping children, I think it's a way that will help them create a language of understanding with their children too. And I think it also can be really fun. And so that's why I love sharing it with children. It's a way that is accessible to them. There's a intuitive understanding of it as well. So the largest uphill battle I see with teaching parents is cultivating the belief and the commitment of how essential their own growth is.
So you actually teach that our spiritual journey is our greatest parenting tool.
Yes.
Why did you come to that conclusion?
The impetus for me to incorporate it into my work actually came out of my practice, working in private practice, counseling children and tweens, especially tweens, because they were in this stage where they were starting to open up and starting to explore their independence. And I would work with them with chakras and help them connect to their inner knowing. And then if that wasn't able to be cultivated and integrated into the family and keep going, then that's where I saw a huge disconnection. So I started to work with the parents and offer them tools to not only understand really what I was offering, but for them, how they can support their children, how they can attune to their children's needs, how they can work on their own selves. And once I started doing that and even incorporating small acts of self-care for parents, I started to see the changes and the transformations that I knew were possible for their children. And then the more it became integral to my work, because whatever I could be offering wasn't going to have as much power unless the parents were also on board with their own journey as well. And now that I'm a parent, I see that in the every day, every moment, that what I am, the energy that I'm presenting is really what my daughter is soaking up and understanding and taking in as her knowledge, even more than a tool I might present to her, as magical as that tool might be.
So I think over the last, I don't know, maybe even 40 or 50 years, with the Western society, religions have quite often seen a reduction in how many people are attending and expressing spirituality through their religion. So there's a large segment of the population that has totally become disconnected from their spirituality.
It's really to help tap into what is going to be the best way for you to connect to your inner self. And so if there is a cultural tradition, a religious tradition that a parent or family believes in deeply, then I encourage them to use that as a way to share with their children. I put that in the area of the crown chakra when I teach crown chakra, that whatever way, and then ancestor and roots in the culture and the root chakra, whatever way that you're able to connect to your highest self, that is absolutely a gift that you can share with your children. And whether they end up adopting that religion or using it as a way to understand for themselves the feeling of connecting with the higher self, the feeling of connecting with what the benefit, with the inner feeling that connecting with that religion does, then that's offering something for them to support their spiritual journey, whether they follow the same path or not.
So, why do you think today's children need to access spiritual tools?
Spirituality to me is an ability to connect with your inner knowing and use that as the compass that guides you through your life. And I truly believe that we all have that ability to connect with ourselves, have an understanding of what that feels like intuitively, if we're allowed space, the non-judgment, the openness to connect with it. The more tools that we can give children to stay connected to that knowledge, as the world it can throw you off, or attempt to lead you in a different path, that will be able to stay connected to that knowing, that's their gift, that's their unique way that they're going to present themselves to the world and help change the world.
And they'll be miles ahead of our generation that had to wait till we were adults to even hear that word.
That is if yes, that is one the major aspect of my mission, is a preventative. Yeah, I don't have to wait until you are struggling, until you have a loss of sense of self, until there's a trauma or crisis. That's when there can then be an impetus to seek out spirituality or some other form that's going to support you. And yes, what if we never had to wait? What if you were always, from the moment you were born, reminded of and supported in being in that space of truth? Absolutely.
So, how do you teach chakras to kids?
I wanted to teach children first an understanding holistically of chakras, so that they are a way to support energy in your body, and they're centers in your body, and also areas in your life that if you practice attending to them, it gives you a map to your best self. I break it down into things that are really accessible for developmentally what is important for a child. So for adults, the root chakra can be connected to money and finances. That's not directly relatable to children. So I create worlds around the chakras that'll be really accessible to them and support them with their own toolkit. So the root chakra, your home and family, just feeling comfortable in your home. That's not necessarily something you may see the first thing that someone's going to teach you about the root chakra, but it's very relatable to children. The sacral chakra, that one, I do a lot with friendships, because friendships are so supportive for children. So teaching them friendships and creativity, and always not only to meditate and to chant, as what the traditional use of clearing chakras was, but what are the ways for you in your toolkit that are going to support you in balancing and enhancing each one of these areas of your life? It could be something that looks nothing like what a parent may use to balance their chakras. It could be wearing something, it could be a dancing for connecting with your deepest power. So I really make everything relatable to the kids. And then the characters came around of just a talisman or a something that if you saw it and you felt it, then that would support you in connecting with all of the wisdom that you had in that area. In the same way that a child might be attracted to a toy at Target, which is the reality of what is here and what is on our earth right now. And so I want to bring consciousness to that of the things that they're already attracted to and they're already loving and engaging with and are connecting them to their joy.
Well, I think it's really brilliant, and I love
Yeah.
to see more people teaching our kids because I think the world will be such a different place when they
I
have that
agree.
sense of self and not just self, but also community as well.
I agree that it's also something important that I consciously cultivate or consciously teach, that to build your powers within yourself. And then how are you going to share that with others? How are you going to inspire? So whenever I teach the chakras, there's always, after you've had an understanding for yourself, really hands on, like, okay, the heart chakra is the way that I love myself and I spread kindness. Okay, well, how are you going to share that with others? What's a way that you can help your friends, your family, your community to love themselves and to spread kindness? And so there is always that connection, and the idea that we're all connected is something that's beautifully woven within the chakra system as well. And so again, starting that from the beginning, that it's both.
And do you find that they're really open to it and pick it up easily?
I absolutely do. In a way that is, it's just thrilling. By observing what helps children light up when I work with them, that's where all of my work, the catalyst for all of my work, creating an environment where they see that they're allowed to take in meaning for themselves, that what is meaningful for them isn't going to be judged, micromanaged, sh- presented with any shame or confusion. And that's how they really pick it up. So for example, like if I was teaching the throat chakra and I thought that if you chant every day, that will really be what's going to help, and this child connects to some kind of sense of activism or something within themselves, and that's their way that they light up and understand chakras, that's what I help them cultivate, not what I've decided. And that path is really what's helping them understand and connecting it to, why would this have meaning for you in your personal life? And so it comes from something that they care about, and it just makes all the difference.
Do people need to connect with their chakras every day? And I mean, people, adults, kids.
The way I see chakras are so integral. It's a way of organizing and understanding yourself holistically. So yes, I think it would be impossible to make it through the day connected to your true self if you weren't connecting with your chakras. I think it's a way of organizing and understanding your, not only your energy body but your outer world as well. And so yes, absolutely, in the same way that one would attempt to connect with their higher self, their true self, their core self, and whatever way they define that.
So, as an energy healer, I often will have people come to me and
Yes,
they'll be like, my throat chakra is closed or my root
yes.
chakra is closed. I've never seen a chakra completely closed.
Mhm.
I'm curious to what your opinion is on that.
When you say that, I think of the yoga concept Spanza Shakti, which is the glimmer of light and the spark of truth that exists in the darkest, no matter what. It is always there. When I vision them, when I work with them, I don't imagine them fully closed because that's your life force. And
I think it's
I
important that
agree. Yeah.
people understand that chakras move, right? Like they expand and they
Mhm.
contract, so they're not stagnant force that like closed really tight all the time to move
Yes.
depending on your thoughts, your feelings, your
Yes.
emotions, your actions.
Mhm. Energy is always in movement. I think it's a really hopeful and it's an optimistic idea because if you can believe that and believe the truth in that, then you have a pathway, you have a light to follow and to support yourself. And there's also the idea of regeneration and there's constant movement. So if you feel stuck or stagnant in that moment, and there is the potential to always shift from that, even in the next breath.
So, Carly, I would just love it if you would be able to share a simple exercise that the listeners could do themselves, or if they have children or grandchildren, they could share with.
My favorite really is for the families to find their special. So what I'll challenge families to do is do a buffet of exploration of what tools are going to be the best fit for your family. And so to balance and enliven all of your chakras, to me, the simplest way to explain the point of that, the benefits of that, is sparking your joy, like lighting it up. And how are you going to be able to live as your true self in the world? That was the first people who studied chakras. That was the intention of clearing them, was that they could live in the world as their true self and go on their daily lives. So I love morning practices. If there's, even if everyone's running out the door, is there a way that everyone can connect, put on a favorite song and dance and move? There's a Kundalini exercise where you're shaking your whole body. That's actually a really fun one that kids absolutely love. And the most resistant kids can get into that. So if the idea is that you're moving your body and you're trying to attempt to move every single cell in your whole body. And so you can get your fingers moving, your toes, you shaking. And so it's a way to break the ice kind of too. Again, if there's some resistance, it's something everybody can participate in. And it's something that can happen in any moment spontaneously. So I love dance and free spontaneous movement with children. The simple practice of adding breath to that. So if you can be conscious with your breath, feel your belly fill with fresh air and release the stagnant energy, and then get moving. Maybe adding some affirmations to that. If each child, each person in the family had an affirmation of something that helps them feel good, like I am comfortable, I am brave. Like today my daughter was going out somewhere and we did something very similar to this. We get moving, and she was going to a place that she was maybe meeting people for the first time, and so we used the affirmation of strength. So even a simple question of how do we want to feel today, and then everyone having a chance to answer it, and then attempt to bring that feeling into their body.
Very unique ways of working with the chakra system, that's for sure.
That's my goal, is because a lot of the, not that they're not accessible to children, but a large part of working with spirituality, social emotional learning, emotions in this society is that there's often a stigma related to it. And it's connected to the idea that if you're doing these things, there might be something wrong with you. And so there can be a resistance. The more barriers I can break with that there's engagement and there's an idea of, oh, this does help me connect with myself. It helps me feel powerful and my own strength in the world, and that it can be myself. That is what's going to bring in any of the traditional, that's what's going to create an openness to any of the more traditional types of ways of balancing your chakras. So I like to incorporate them all and then really use what do children gravitate towards, what's going to help them feel open and safe, and start from that.
What kind of shifts have you noticed for kids or even for the families?
It's almost like I could see, it's like an exhale. There's like a being stuck in a belief that there's only one way to be happy, or there's only one path forward. And when these pathways are opened up for them and I help the people that come to mind are the most resistant teens and tweens I've worked with in private in counseling, and how I could detect the shift that they were being themselves. A fluidity in sharing and speaking, an ability to share your opinion in a way that isn't guarded, and more lightness and moving in the world, more open communication with each other, more love and connection, less stress, less stuck patterns that just keep going because there's an openness to go a different way. It's really just a whole different energy shift of the way that they're able to be with each other and in the world, and it all comes from that relief of, oh, I don't have to hold a false sense of myself. I don't have to protect my inner true self. It's able to be out in the world. And I see children expressing the way they dress is different because they're allowed the things that they gravitate towards, the activities they like, or are just more natural for them. So much opens up.
Well, fantastic work you do in the world. So I thank you.
Thank
And
you.
I'm excited for the kids coming up that get to actually play with energy this way. Fantastic. If anyone would like to get in touch with you, or how could they learn more about the Inner Rainbow Project?
They can visit my website, innerrainbowproject.com. On Facebook and Instagram, I share quotes, really sport conscious and spiritual parenting, and ideas, all different kinds of ideas for introducing social emotional learning and just loving yourself, really. That's the ultimate. So they can find me there.
All gifts that all of us really want to live from that place of authentic expression.
Yes.
Yeah, fantastic. Fantastic. Is there anything else you'd like to share?
No, just that you're already doing everything. If you're listening to this, then you're devoted to your spiritual journey, and keep doing it. Listen to your intuition, and
And
that's
share
good.
it with your kids, right?
Yes,
Share it with your kids.
and absolutely, and that you will live and be what you want to share with your kids as well.
Fantastic. Well, thank you for being my guest today, Carly. Thank you for listening to this week's episode of Exploring the Mystical Side of Life. You will find us on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, and a wide variety of other podcast platforms. Make sure you subscribe, share with a friend, come and visit me at thoughtchange.com and learn what energy medicine can do for you. Bye for now.